Hello friends, welcome back. This is Himanshu Verma. In the previous lecture we learned how to find vector addition if two vectors are in same line or perpendicular to each other. We observed generally for force vectors we use parallelogram law of vector addition, and for displacement or velocity vector we use triangle law of vector addition. Vector addition generally means resultant of two vectors. It means if we want to add two vectors, then we want to find resultant of these two vectors. And if vectors are perpendicular to each other, then we can find magnitude of resultant vector just by using Pythagoras theorem, and direction of resultant vector just by using simple trigonometry. Now we observe how to find addition or resultant of two vectors when vectors are not perpendicular to each other. In fact, they have some arbitrary angle theta between them. Suppose this is vector A whose magnitude is A, and this is vector B whose magnitude is B, and angle between these two vectors is theta. We have assumed these two vectors A and B are force vector, because if they were displacement vector then I would have been shown them like this. But right now we assume these are force vector. So I take this representation. Now if we consider this coordinate system, means this is x-axis and this is y-axis, then vector A can be written as its magnitude A into unit direction of this vector. And how to find unit direction of this vector? Just find direction cosines of this vector. How to find direction cosines? Just look at the angles which this vector is making with positive x-axis and positive y-axis. For this vector, angle with positive x-axis is 0 degree because this vector is parallel to x-axis. So alpha is equal to 0, and the angle of this vector with positive y-axis is 90 degree. So beta is equal to 90 degree. And direction cosines would be cos of alpha and cos of beta, that is cos of 0 degree and cos of 90 degree. Here cos of 0 degree is 1 and cos of 90 degree is 0. So direction cosine for this vector A are 1 and 0. Now we can write vector A which is equal to magnitude A into 1 ax cap plus 0 ay cap, where 1 and 0 are direction cosines for this vector, and it is finally equal to A into ax cap. Here we can use a short trick to write the vector also. If any vector is either in x direction or in y direction, then it is very easy to write that vector. If vector is purely in x direction, then just take its magnitude and multiply it with ax cap. And if vector is purely in y direction, then to write that vector, just take its magnitude and multiply it with ay cap. But if vector is not in purely x-axis and not in purely y-axis, in fact it is somewhere in between them, then we have to use this direction cosine method to write the vector. For example, for this vector B, this vector is neither in x direction nor in y direction. In fact, it is somewhere in between. So now how to write this vector? Just look at the magnitude of this vector, that is B into unit direction. How to find this unit direction? Just find direction cosines. To calculate direction cosines, we need alpha and beta. Alpha is the angle with positive x-axis, and for this vector that is theta, and beta is the angle with positive y-axis, and for this vector B that is 90 degree minus theta. Now you have found alpha and beta. Now direction cosines would be cos of alpha and cos of beta. So cos of theta, comma cos of 90 degree minus theta, and cos of 90 degree minus theta can be written as sine of theta. So direction cosines are cos of theta, comma sine of theta. Now this vector can be written as magnitude B into cos of theta ax cap plus sine of theta ay cap. So now these are two vectors A and B which have been written in terms of ax cap and ay cap. Because now they are in form of ax cap and ay cap, so to find the resultant of these two vectors, you can add them directly. Directly means just add the coefficient of ax cap for both vectors and just add the coefficients of ay cap for both vectors. Suppose resultant of these two vectors is shown by vector r. So vector r is equal to a ax cap, this is first vector, and b into cos of theta ax cap plus sine of theta ay cap, this is second vector. Now we can multiply b inside, so it becomes a ax cap plus b cos of theta ax cap plus b sin of theta ay cap. Now if we add coefficients of ax cap, then those are a plus b cos of theta ax cap plus b sin of theta ay cap. This is resultant vector r. As this is resultant vector r in terms of ax cap and ay cap, so it has all information regarding the vector. All information means we can get what is the magnitude of r and we can get what is its direction. We can find direction of r in terms of angle also. Magnitude finding for vector r is very easy. Just square of ax cap coefficient plus square of ay cap coefficient and under the root. So it becomes r is equal to, where r is the magnitude of vector r, a plus b cos of theta whole square plus b sin of theta whole square under the root. If we solve it, then we will get a square plus b square plus 2ab cos of theta under the root. Here remember, we used identity, that is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Now if you want to find what is the angle of this vector r with positive x-axis, then that would be tan inverse, because tan of theta is equal to perpendicular upon base, and perpendicular is correspond to coefficient of ay cap and base is correspond to coefficient of ax cap. So angle of r will be equal to tan inverse coefficient of ay cap means b sin of theta divided by coefficient of ax cap, that is a plus b cos of theta. Now you can write this angle in terms of cosine function also, as cos of theta is equal to base upon hypotenuse. So here base is coefficient of ax cap, that is a plus b cos of theta, and hypotenuse means diagonal is resultant itself, so divide by r. You can write in terms of sine inverse also, as sine of theta is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So perpendicular here is b sine of theta and hypotenuse means diagonal is resultant itself, so divide by r. So in this way you can write angle for this resultant vector in terms of all three functions, that is sine, cos and tangent. So friends, this was all about vector addition. Now if you want to subtract two vectors, suppose we take same example, this is vector a and this is vector b, and you want to find vector a minus vector b. So to subtract two vectors, first write this vector a minus vector b like this, means vector a plus vector minus b. So now what does it means? It means if we found the resultant of two vectors, that is vector a and vector minus b, then that resultant will be correspond to vector a minus vector b. Representation wise, if this is vector a and this is vector b, now if we want to negate a vector, means vector b is given and we want to find minus b vector, then just rotate that vector with angle 180 degree. So if this is vector b, then this would be vector minus b. Here what we have done, magnitude of both these two vectors are same, just we rotate this vector with 180 degree. So this vector is correspond to minus b. Now if we add this vector a and this vector minus b, then that addition would be correspond to vector a minus vector b. So in this way we can subtract two vectors also. So up to now we have learned how to write a vector, how to add or subtract two or more vectors. Now next we learn components of a vector. In previous case you said these are two vectors a and b and this r is the resultant of these two vectors. It means if we add vector a and vector b, then we will get vector r. Now we can say this thing in reverse order also. If this resultant vector r is given, then this vector r would have been a combination of two vectors a and b. Means if we write vector a plus vector b is equal to vector r, then what does it implies? If we add two vectors a and b, then we will get vector r. But if vector r is given, then we can break this vector r in two vectors a and b also. In other words, we can say this r is combination of two vectors a and b. Or we can say this also, these vectors a and b are the components of this vector r. So finally we can say components से मिलकर रिजल्टेंट बनता है और किसी रिजल्टेंट को हम components में ब्रेक कर सकते हैं. Actually if any vector r is given, then this vector R may have its components in all directions except one direction that is normal to this vector or perpendicular to this vector. मीन्स ये जो वेक्टर R है इसके हर डायरेक्शन में कंपोनेंट्स हो सकते हैं, लेकिन इस वेक्टर के परपेंडिकुलर डायरेक्शन में इस वेक्टर का कोई कंपोनेंट नहीं होगा। कंपोनेंट्स का मतलब क्या है? कंपोनेंट्स का मतलब यह है कि दो ऐसे वेक्टर चूज करो जिनका रिजल्टेंट यह वेक्टर R आ जाए। सो देयर कैन बी इनफाइनाइट नंबर ऑफ सच कॉम्बिनेशंस। लुक एट दीज डायग्राम्स। I tried to show 2 or 3 such combinations. In these diagrams, it is very clear that because R is the resultant of these two components, therefore two components should be selected such that if we complete a parallelogram, then its diagonal should be correspond to vector R. So इस पहले डायग्राम में ये दो कंपोनेंट्स हैं इस वेक्टर R के, क्योंकि इन दोनों वेक्टर का जो रिजल्टेंट है वो वेक्टर R हमें मिल रहा है। Same is true for second diagram. Here these are two components because their resultant is also vector R, and so on. Out of these all diagrams, if I look at this diagram carefully, then this diagram has one important thing. However, in this diagram also, we have break vector R in two vectors A and B, so that resultant of vector A and B is correspond to vector R. But special thing is, in this diagram, the two components are perpendicular to each other. Means the angle between two components is 90 degree. So this is a special case where we break a vector R in this way so that the angle between the components is 90 degree. So this is special case which is very much used in physics. In this special case, it is very easy to find the value of components. Suppose this is vector R and these are two components A and B for this vector R, and angle between A and B is 90 degree. Then one thing which will be given to us, the angle of this resultant vector with either of the component. मतलब एक चीज हमें हमेशा गिवन होगी कि यह रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर किसी भी कंपोनेंट के साथ कितना एंगल बनाता है। Suppose we are given this angle theta, then length of this vector A would be equal to R cos of theta and length of this vector B would be equal to R sin of theta. तो हमेशा याद रखिए जिस कंपोनेंट के साथ एंगल गिवन है उसके साथ कोस आएगा और दूसरे कंपोनेंट के साथ साइन आएगा। There is nothing new in this. You can prove this thing very easily just by using simple trigonometry. So here we can summarize. First thing is we can break any vector in its components in any direction except one direction that is perpendicular to that vector. तो इसको आप इस तरह से याद कीजिए कि कोई भी वेक्टर है तो उस वेक्टर का इफेक्ट हर डायरेक्शन में होगा एक्सेप्ट उस वेक्टर के परपेंडिकुलर डायरेक्शन में। एंड सेकंड पॉइंट इज, जनरली हम फिजिक्स में वो कंपोनेंट्स फाइंड आउट करते हैं जिन कंपोनेंट्स के बीच में 90 डिग्री का एंगल होता है। यहां पर ध्यान रखिए रिजल्टेंट के साथ 90 डिग्री नहीं, उन दो कंपोनेंट्स के बीच में 90 डिग्री का एंगल होता है। और अगर दो कंपोनेंट्स के बीच में 90 डिग्री का एंगल है तो उन कंपोनेंट्स को फाइंड आउट करना बहुत ही इजी है। जस्ट रिजल्टेंट का एंगल देखिए किसी भी कंपोनेंट के साथ, तो जो एंगल वाली साइड है उसके साथ रिजल्टेंट का मैग्नीट्यूड इंटू कोस ऑफ थीटा कर दीजिए, और जो दूसरी साइड है या दूसरा कंपोनेंट है उसमें रिजल्टेंट इंटू साइन ऑफ थीटा कर दीजिए। तो यह उन दो कंपोनेंट्स की स्ट्रेंथ होगी। ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, कंपोनेंट से रिजल्टेंट बनेगा और रिजल्टेंट को आप कंपोनेंट्स में ब्रेक कर सकते हैं। और फिजिक्स में हम कंपोनेंट्स में इस तरह से ब्रेक करते हैं कि उनके बीच में एंगल 90 डिग्री का बना रहे। सो फ्रेंड्स, वी स्टॉप हियर। In the next lecture, we will learn about dot product and cross product of two vectors. If you have any doubt, please ask in comment section. Please like and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.